Hello everyone and welcome to the Carlos Gomez Experience Podcast with your host Carlos Gomez. Today marks a very special occasion as it's our first ever episode and we're kicking things off with none other than the most anticipated guest to date, Tiago. Tiago is a 17-year-old online coach and fitness influencer that transformed his body and mind through the gym and hardships. First off, thank you very much for coming into my podcast, Tiago. Thank you very much for coming along.
Thank you for having me.
And the first question I have for you is, majority of the people that have dedicated their lives to the fitness industry and just fitness overall do tend, not all of them, but majority of them do tend to have some sort of story that happened throughout their childhood that kind of pushed them through that path. Would you say was that a similar story to yours, or was it just something completely different?
Yes, I think it was that, but it was also insecurities. When I was growing up, I was pretty obese. I was 105, 106 kg at the age of 14 years old. So, growing up, seeing my friends in the park, run, play football, I always used to be that one that got put in goal.
Yeah.
So, just, it's the small things that add up, and at one point, you're just like, fuck this, I need to lock in. Also in primary, the same, being new here, it was just pure fat shaming, where's like potato, Winnie the Pooh, like childish stuff. And I think that pushed me a lot. It's like David Lade, but the opposite, because he grew up skinny, and he was insecure about that, but for me it was growing up fat. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah.
Alright, so of course, to me, that was a completely different story. I mean, I'm as skinny as a twig, so I wouldn't necessarily say I can relate to that type of childhood. But, of course, there is always a difficulty that you go through in childhood, and that's what makes you a mature person in the later stages of life. So, another question I have for you, especially as a 17-year-old, would be, do you come across sponsorships very often?
There are many brands that offer sponsorships. It's a big part of the fitness industry, is probably how influencers make most of their money, through brand deals. You have the big brands like Young LA, Gymshark, and you have to be really famous to join them. I was sponsored by 1% Fitness, which is a company of pre-workout and protein powder in America. I quit with them because, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like the flavors and it wasn't growing at all, it wasn't going anywhere. So I just decided to stick to myself, and now I'm sponsored by Hustle, which they've got protein bars packed with every single thing you can imagine: creatine, electrolytes, BCAAs, vitamins, which are really tasty, and they've got clothes which are really give you that dark gym bro aesthetic vibe. So I'm sponsored by them now, so 15% off, code Tiago at checkout.
Okay, so just a cheeky little sponsorship ad right there.
Yeah.
And we don't mind that, of course, we accept everyone. Alright, so another question I have for you would be, who did or do you look up to in the fitness industry? So of course there's a lot of big names like David Lade, of course, an upcoming one that's already hit a huge spot, but Alex Eubank and stuff like that. Who would you say would be that one person that really motivated you?
One person is very, very hard to choose. But I think most teenagers, especially that started the gym at my age, 14, 15, I think everyone looked up to David Lade. I think he's got the most aesthetic physique. He's the face of Gymshark. But I really like Alex Eubank. I like that he's open about everything that he does. I look at Alex Eubank as well because he talks a lot about religion and Christianity. So that's what I love about Alex Eubank as well. But if I had to pick between them, it would have to be David Lade. I grew up with David Lade all the time. I met it on TikTok and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So in this still on the topic of fitness, what are your plans with fitness in the future? Do you plan on building your own business empire, making sure that your word is spread out there, and essentially getting your own sponsorship to other young athletes. What is your plan?
I think my plan for fitness, I wanna be sponsored by a very big brand and do social media full time. Mine will probably be again Gymshark or Young LA. They're the big ones. Work with all the faces of fitness and just put my word out there. Just you gotta build a personal brand, so you have to be yourself, and people will like you for yourself, and that's when people use your code. That's when people buy your online coaching. That's when people just love you for who you are. So, yeah, my plan is to grow more on social media and also do a few bodybuilding shows in the future. But yeah.
All right, so of course, as a 17-year-old, I myself have this question in mind and would pretty much like it answered. Looking at the size of you, as a 17-year-old, are you natural?
I am very much natural, yeah. I haven't taken any steroids, SARMs, PEDs, absolutely nothing. I'm just on creatine and protein powder. But yeah, I'm too young to take anything. I don't want to ruin the rest.
But has a lot of people came up to you and asked you, are you natural? And even though with the answer that you've just given me now, they still disbelieved you.
There were rumors in high school from everyone, and it was mostly the girls that believed them. They were like, "Oh, you're not steady, aren't you?" I was like, "No, I'm fucking not." But and a few online, but no, I am natural. And if you don't believe me, pay for my test, and I'll piss in a cup for you, and I'll do your test. But,
all right. So of course, to get to the point you are today, of course, you have took supplements before.
Yeah.
So supplements.
Yeah.
What supplements have you took?
Creatine, protein powder, and vitamins. I recommend if you're young, that's all you need. Your testosterone is at an all-time highest. For vitamins, I would just recommend D3 and K2, magnesium and zinc, and just a multivitamin in general. But if you have them, creatine, protein powder. Sometimes I don't even take protein powder anymore. I don't really like it. I eat enough meat, so I don't think I need that. I get my protein for the day.
Yeah, so previously I believe you've already answered this question for me, but I just want this question answered, and it's simply as it is.
Go on.
So, have you ever thought of taking steroids?
Obviously everyone has thought about it, like I think, but no, I have thought about it, but I don't think I will take steroids anytime soon until I reach my natural potential, which is, 7-8 years time. And even then, if I don't want to take bodybuilding professionally, I will not hop on absolutely anything. So to answer your question, if I want to take bodybuilding seriously, yeah. But if not, no.
Alright, so now moving away from the whole idea of fitness, specifically about you in terms of physically and stuff. Now we're gonna go on to online coaching, as I previously mentioned on the title. So, would you say for online coaching, is it hard to manage clients?
I wouldn't say so for me, because I haven't had that many clients, to be honest with you. I've only started this a few months ago, and I'm not that really big on social media. So I still had some clients. It depends on the client as well. If the client, listens to you and he sticks to his diet and his training, then everything goes on. He sends you daily checks, you check in with him. Everything runs smoothly. But if you've got a client that, slacks off and stuff and doesn't really want to, I'm still in the win. Like, I got the money from him, but I want him to enjoy it and make it the best for him. But to answer your question, no, it wasn't. Now I'm in the summer holidays. I finished college, so I would think now it will be easier than ever for me to manage as many clients as I can. So to answer your question.
Yeah. So of course, in terms of business, how much does it cost to start this business specifically?
Online coaching?
Yes.
I would say zero, at least for the first 30 days. You have all these social media apps which are all free. You can post think of it, every post is a free lottery ticket. You can post one and it goes viral, and then you blow up and you're famous. Um, so I would say zero for the first 30 days. You just need to post. You need Calendly for the to book the calls, so they go on a sales call with you. Um, and then you need Trainerize, which is the training app where you create the programs, the food programs. For the first 30 days, it's free, and then it's like £40 a month, which you make profit anyway if you have clients. So it's really, really cheap. There's just 95% profit from this. You just need to have a good physique to showcase it, and then you can just start making money.
Yeah, so you know, as you said, doesn't really cost that much to start the online coaching business.
Yeah.
So how much money would you say that you've made so far from that business? If you don't mind disclosing.
Yeah, I would say between 1.5k and 2k. But I've only started this again at the start of the year. So it's been like 6-7 months. But as you can see, you can make tons of money from this. I've started 7 months ago. I looked in and I'm making all the money that I need, you know, for clothes, for this, for going out. I can just make it online from teaching clients.
Yeah, so what type of advice would you have for someone who's looking into starting their own business in terms of online coaching or helping other people get fit? What type of advice would you have for them?
First of all, don't copy anyone. Be yourself. Second of all, being yourself will create your personal brand, which that is how you get a loyal following, which then you can showcase and then sell whatever you want. Either it's coaching, either it's a clothing brand. You can sell it because people will buy it, because people like you for you. So I would just say, do it. Just raw dog it. You have to start thinking, oh, where do I start? I don't know how to do it. You learn along the way. That's the excuse most people have with the gym as well. Where do I start? I don't know the program. You just need to go and get used to it. Just figure it out on the way. So yeah, just figure it out on the way.
Yeah, so moving away from that online coaching subject, now we're gonna go onto a more personal level.
Okay.
In terms of your life and your backstory, where you originally came from, and stuff like that. So you know, as I believe people have already noticed already, you have a Scouse accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you originally from the UK, or are you from a different country?
I'm from Romania. I was born in Portugal, but my parents are Romanian and I've lived in Romania for 7 years. So being in Romania, what was the question again, man? I'm sorry.
So long story short, where did you grow up and how was
Oh yeah, I grew up in Romania, in the mountains, specifically in Bușteni, which is a little village. Growing up, I can't lie, in Romania it was pretty hard. The money was really tight. We were in poverty, let's say. I mean, you know, I was thankful we had a roof under our head.
Yeah, of course.
We had food on the table.
Wouldn't necessarily say you were in poverty, but
Yeah.
you didn't have everything.
I wasn't homeless.
Yeah, of course. At least
But,
you had the necessities.
You know, we had a roof over our head, we had running water, we had food. That's all you needed to survive. So, but as food, for example, we had this thing, it was patel. It's like chicken patel, liver patel, you just spread it on bread. It's like a little, you know, that's all I ate for like a week. I used to make them sandwiches and take them to school like every single day. I remember walking to school. My nan would walk me, and there was this little bakery where they had like a type of bagel, and there was 1 lev, which is equal to like 20 pence. And I was like, Nan, can I get that for school? And she was like, sorry, we don't have the money. So like, to understand, we didn't even have 20p to buy a little bagel. So I grew up quite, I wouldn't say the worst, but it was quite a rough childhood. I didn't have, you know, what most of the kids had. But I guess that's what made me the boy I am today, and what's pushed me to become better and maybe make my own money. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I can 100% relate to that, because of course everyone has a different sort of childhood story. I mean, me personally, I was born in Portugal in this little village called Viseu,
Yeah.
and you know, I was very thankful as well. I had a roof, I had running water, I had food.
Yeah.
But you know, there'll be some times where I'd go to school and see other people have like cool bags. You know, the bags where they have
Oh,
like
yeah.
the it would be like a suitcase type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would see them with those, and I'd be like, "Mom, can I have one of those?" And my mom would say, "No, we just don't have the money."
Yeah.
So you know, of course, everyone goes through different situations at a childhood, and that's probably what ends up eventually turning a person into a more mature person, and kind of fuels their eagerness to success in life. So I wouldn't necessarily say I can relate to that 100%, but you know, personally, I would
Yeah.
say I've gone through the same situation.
Yeah.
of
Obviously.
course. So the next question would be, when you moved to England, did you find it very difficult?
Yeah, I found it really hard. It was probably the hardest experience of my life. Actually, the second hardest. But it was hard because my mom and I came here. My dad brought us here, which he flew 2 months before he brought my mom and I. So it was really hard without my dad, and it was really hard for my mom without my dad. And it was hard for my dad without us. So it was really hard. I remember in the airport when I left exactly on my birthday when I turned 8. It was hard for me to leave because I was really, really close with my nan. So I remember that every time when I came to England, I think I cried for like 3 months straight because I missed my nan. My nan is here with us now in England, but yeah, they had no, you know, I was 8, so all I knew was Romanian food, Romanian milk and cereal, Romanian tradition, didn't know the language. I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? I want to go back. But I'm really thankful my mom and dad made that decision, because now I've got the opportunities in my life that I would have never had back in my own country. So it was really, really hard.
Yeah. You know, this is more of like a question that comes from me, not one that people would want to get answered. So
Yeah.
of course, having a look at you right now, you look very fashionable, you look very nicely dressed. Is this your typical day-to-day dress type, or have you got other types of dressing styles that you like?
I try, in the gym I just wear gym clothes, like, you know, Gymshark shorts and a hoodie. I don't really care, like, I care about how I look in the gym, obviously that gives you confidence to work out. But I think that the way you present yourself is what gives you confidence. So yeah, this is mostly how I dress. I don't want to go too overdressed or too underdressed. So I could go like this to a bar, I could go like this for a coffee, I could go like this anywhere. So I try to dress as modernly as I can. So this is typically how I dress, yeah.
So you know, it's very difficult because a lot of people tend to have different mindsets, especially growing up. But do you plan on having kids when you get to a certain age where you have the opportunity to, you know, with a wife, a house, a
Yeah.
stable?
I really want kids. My dream is to be a dad. So I think 1 or 2 max. I don't want any more. But yeah, I would love a little mini me. Just have a little mini me by my side. Or yeah, I would love a kid. Obviously not now. I'm not financially stable.
Not now.
But later on in the future, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So in your point of view, how would you define success?
I think everyone has their own definition of success. Maybe someone's success is to, you know, make 20k and enjoy the life with that. But someone might have a dream to move to Dubai and make 10k a month and drive fast cars. My success is, you know, be healthy, have my family healthy, and, you know, try and be as humble as I can, because God is watching, and I don't want to take anything for granted. I want to have gratitude for everything. So if God is willing to give more for my hard work put, then that is my definition of success.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I mean, me personally, I don't see success as living in Dubai, having all of these fancy cars. I see it as having a very loving family, stable finance,
Yeah.
and sort of stuff that, like, you typically see in typical cities, in typical scenarios. You know, it's not something that you see in like places like Dubai where people are just
Yeah.
riding around and flipping expensive cars. You
Yeah.
know, of
Like
course.
for me, my definition of success that wants to be my end point, I want to make enough money online to be able to move Thailand. You know, maybe start a family in Thailand, move Thailand forever, because the culture is amazing, the weather's amazing, they've got city life, beach, nature, they've got everything there. It's quite cheap. So you know, for me, making 3-4K a month, I could live like I'm rich in Thailand.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So for someone making 20K a month in Dubai, you know, there's a big difference, and there's a big difference between the countries. But yeah.
Yeah. So of course, for you to get to the point you are right now, you know, there was something that always motivated you since the beginning to keep on pushing and keep on going hard at it. You know, what would you say that key thing was that just kept you going?
Probably wanting to be a better man in general. That goes with everything, like not just fitness, probably school, probably college, making money, just anything. I just wanted to be a better man. I wanna, like, my biggest fear is not reaching my full potential, and I wanna give everything that I can in this life. So I think just being a better man, having that mindset of, yo, I need to be better, just push me. Like, I wanna, you can always be 1% better, no matter how far you go. So that just pushes me, having that mindset, I guess.
Yeah, so now moving away from that sort of personal subject, we're gonna dive a little bit more in terms of your love life and relationships. You know, because, you know, I'm very curious, you know, because surely a handsome man like you must have had some peculiar experiences,
Okay.
but not that many, surely not.
Of course.
Of course. Okay, so first question will be, who was your first love and how did you guys meet?
My first love was a girl I met in high school in year 9, 10. I'm not gonna say her name, but we met in high school. I sat by her in science, and then we just got to know each other, and we were together from 14 to 16, so I think almost 2 years. It wasn't 2 years, it was almost 2 years. But yeah, yeah, that's it. We met in high school, and my first love was the one I met in high school.
Okay. So, of course, you know, you seem to be a little fidgety right now, especially coming up with that topic. So, I would presume you kind of went through a tough time when you guys, you know, broke up. Are you still together?
No.
Yeah, so when you guys broke up. So, would you say it was hard for you to get over her? You
Yeah.
know, sorry to disturb, but, you know, when it comes to first love, I believe that, you know, it's the first time you experience true love. So, you know, of course, it's going to be a very hard, you know, experience and like thing to kind of detach yourself from. But of course, it's different for everyone. So, could you just tell us a bit about your experience?
So, I think the reason it was hard for me is because we became really close, and you know, it was 2 years, and it was my first love. So we did everything together, and when we broke up, it wasn't anything bad. It was just we didn't understand each other anymore. You know, we grew differently. We didn't have the same beliefs, and growing up, you know, from 14 to 16, that's probably the part where you mature the most. And we just both realized, like, maybe this isn't what we want. It was nothing to do with her. She's a lovely girl. If she's watching this, I wish her the best. I hope she's doing well. But yeah, it was hard. The reason it was hard is because I tried to kill myself one night. I got really bad after the breakup. I started smoking weed. And one night I came home. My parents were away. I think they were at my friend's house. and I just came home. I went in the kitchen. I took a bunch of pills, and I went to bed. I didn't expect to wake up. But I woke up. Thankfully, I wouldn't have been here. But yeah, it was hard and it was humbling. But I was really attached and I was really in love. You always think when you're with your first love, you're gonna get married, you're never gonna break up, you're never blah 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 blah. But yeah, it was hard.
I mean, after that one, my respect for you has just absolutely skyrocketed because there's a lot of people out there who tend to go through tough situations and they're not necessarily as open as you. And by you being open, a lot of people out there can take in this information and essentially just benefit themselves.
Yeah, for advice, if you break up with your first love or with any girl ever, just wish her the best and focus on yourself. Even if she did wrong, even if you did wrong, it doesn't matter. Forgive her, forgive yourself, and move on with your life. If it's meant to be, they will come back. God will always put you back together if you're meant to be.
Exactly, I agree with that 100%. So, continuing that in terms of women and stuff, what do you look for in women? What is your specific type?
Physically?
Physically and mentally, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Starting off with physically.
I think physically, I don't mind if she's blonde or brunette. I think now.
So you're just excluding gingers and.
No gingers. I'm sorry if you're ginger watching this. No ginger. I don't like gingers. But if you're blonde or brunette or brownish hair, I don't care. I don't care about ethnicity, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't really care about looks. Of course, I want the girl to be pretty. But I think it's more about the mentality that she has. I want a girl I think every man would like a girl that is very, very respectful. I think every man looks for a girl that respects him. I think men need to be shown more respect than love. I think for us, respect is like us showing love to a girl. Would you think that? So because with respect comes love anyway. Being respectful and being very supportive. I think that is the main thing because us as men, we've got that stigma that we can't show our emotions and we can't cry and all this bullshit. But when you have a girl that you can be a burden to, like not intentionally, but like you can cry to, you can talk about your feelings. It means a lot, and I think being very respectful, loyal, and supportive is probably the only three main aspects a woman needs to have.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I mean, in my personal view, I do not give two fucks about looks, honestly. Like, all I care about, of course, the woman can't be like Gorlock the Destroyer.
Yeah.
But they have to have a good personality and stuff. But, if the woman doesn't respect my boundaries, if she doesn't respect my plans, even if she doesn't respect me or push me forward, even though I'm incapable to push myself forward, the door's that way.
Yeah.
Door's that way.
Again, bringing up on that, I think having a woman who pushes you.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard once, getting back to the fitness, Seaborn, the Olympia champion, was in the bathroom crying. He wanted to quit. He didn't want to do this anymore. He had businesses to run as well. And his wife came to him and asked him, "Are you okay?" about 3 times, and on the 3rd time he broke down crying. And then he just spilled everything to her, and she was like, "You can quit if you want, but I know you won't." And she pushed him on to win the 6th Olympia. So having a woman like that is being supportive as a woman. If you're watching this, being supportive and pushing your man is he will never want to lose you, and he will do things you will never think he would have been capable of doing.
100%. Once again, I agree with you with what you've just said. So the next question will be, What is your love language? Because of course there's a lot of types out there. You know,
Yeah.
there's talking love language. You know, where you really
Yeah.
tell them the truth and you show your affection. There's physical and stuff like that. What would you say is your love language?
I think physical touch has to be one. Like, you know, I like being playful. You know, like if we walk on the street, like I'll give you a little punch in the arm or like a little grudge or stop. Or if you know, holding hands in the street, you know, I like affection.
Yeah,
Probably
essentially.
public affection
Yeah,
as well.
essentially not necessarily having social anxiety, but not being shy to demonstrate your affection, even though
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
in public scenarios. Yeah.
I don't care what your affection is important and words of affirmation. Like again, you know, as men, we need to be shown as well that we are loved and we are cared for, you know. So I think them two are the main ones.
Yeah, so for personally, the last question in terms of relationship and stuff would be, what is your opinion on hookup culture? So in terms of, you know, one night stands and stuff
Yeah.
like that, what is your opinion?
I don't have anything against it. I think I wouldn't say it's not. I think it's not right, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, I've been there a few times as well. But
Have you learned?
of course, I don't think it's right, especially, you know, I'm trying to get closer with God and stuff like that, and I don't think that is the right thing to do. And getting into my experiences, it was empty. Like there's no feeling.
There is
nothing.
no certain level of desire from it.
No,
it's just
there's-
simply,
It's just empty, bro.
yeah.
And it's also, there's no meaning behind it. There's no nothing.
It's a temporary release.
yeah,
of
and then-
dopamine.
yeah,
you don't
and-
really get it.
Exactly. And after you just feel empty. You just feel like, why the fuck did I just do that? Like, what did I get?
And then
from it?
compared to a relationship scenario, it's
Absolutely
with someone
different
who
thing.
you truly love,
Yeah.
and yeah,
So I think it's bullshit. I think if you know, another thing, what I hate is about, you know, men who are like, you know, I want a woman who's a virgin or her body count's that high, or this and that, but they like go out to clubs like every week.
but then they are the complete opposite of
Yeah,
what they've
they,
just
but they
said,
go
yeah.
out to clubs every weekend and hook up or like do stuff. to
Like for
try
example,
get
a man,
attention from girls.
like a man who's got a body count of 10,
Yeah,
been on, probably goes out every night,
yeah,
but then
exactly.
says he wants to be with a girl who's a virgin who
Yeah,
is not necessarily shy, but likes to keep to herself and
Yeah.
is just completely composed. you
yeah,
know?
exactly. And I'm like, you know, you attract what you are.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe you're lucky, and if you're a fucking player, maybe you'll find a virgin girl, but it's very rare, I think, because I do believe in what you are, you attract. Personally, I don't care if you're a virgin or you have the body count of 20, as long as you're honest with me and you tell me the truth, so I don't look stupid, then I don't really care. But yeah, to answer your question, I think it's bullshit. I don't think anyone should do it, and I think that's how all the minds of these young people is ruined, through hookup culture and through porn.
Yeah.
Again, sorry, getting on this topic, to be open, again, I really had a really bad addiction with porn for like the last 2 years. I was really addicted to porn, like,
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, especially at a young age if you get introduced into it.
yeah,
Especially being a virgin, you know, you are always there trying to picture it, what it's like to do it, even though you don't have experience, and then it just goes downhill from there on.
yeah, and it just ruins your
Mindset.
It ruins your mindset. It ruins your view for women in real life. You just view them as, oh, I'll just fuck her in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it ruins that, and it ruins your drive in life. You get me? Like, you know, now I wake up in the morning, I go downstairs, I make my coffee, I eat, I drink, I go to the gym. You know, I've got like a little routine. But before, I used to sit in bed, watch porn, then finish watching porn, then just scroll on TikTok, you know, because once you release that dopamine,
yes.
you don't want to do anything else, you just want to lay in
Yes.
bed all day.
Like linking back to those hookups and one
Yeah.
night stands and stuff, it's just a quick release of dopamine. Afterwards, you just
and then you're just empty.
exactly yeah.
And I think either you're a man or a woman, it drains your soul. And there was a scientific study behind this that I looked at. You know, women who have had like more bodies, like more body count, are harder to fall in love with. You know what I mean? Because let's say you have a body count of 10, yeah, and you're a woman, and I'm with you right now, and then I leave you. You're like, oh fuck him, I'll get a new one. Like you don't care anymore. You've already had your body count. It doesn't mean anything to you anymore. But like, let's say you have a body count, you're a virgin or 1 or 2, and I get with you, and me and you have sex, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna leave you. That's gonna hurt you because, you know, you're pure. You're pure. You know what I mean? You're like, you're not used to that stuff. You don't have like the other girl body count of 10. Like, it doesn't, like, it means something to you. You know what I mean? And I think it's the same with a man. Like, you know, just like the exact same thing. Like if I have a body count of 10 and it doesn't really matter to me, but if I have a body count, like my first love, you know, and then I'm like, oh my god, I don't, like, you don't want to see someone else that way, how you saw your first couple of girlfriends or boyfriends. You don't want to see someone else that way. But when you're used to it and you've got your body count high, then you're just like, you don't care anymore, you just carry it on.
Yeah, so moving away from that topic of relationship and stuff like that, now we're going to move on to tips that you would like to give your younger self or to people out there who are looking to pursue the same career that you're currently in. So first question I have for you is, what knowledge do you have now that you believe would have been 100% more beneficial to know in the beginning than now?
It would be about a personal brand, creating your personal brand. I had an account in 2022 with 40k followers, and I lost it because I was 15 and I was posed to my body and it got banned. So
yeah, shout out to TikTok.
Yeah, shout out TikTok. Don't ban me again. Yeah, I would say build your personal brand, especially now. This is the time to build your personal brand. There's so much ways of making money online. Like I have quit my job. I used to work at a supplement shop. I've quit it because I make more money online now than in the shop. So I recommend try get into the online social media industry. There's so many ways to make money. So just focus on social media. That is the future of our generation, I think.
So what would be the top 5 tips you'd give your younger self or other young fellow people that are out there that really want to go through that industry?
Tips.
So in terms of, you know, maybe start going to the gym earlier on, get used to that atmosphere, try and push away that social anxiety and stuff like that.
I would say you need, for me, it wasn't really, I started because I got to the point where I just hated myself. So when you get to that point, you don't really like give a shit about what other people think or like who's watching you train in the gym or like who thinks what of you in the gym. But if you're starting out and you just want to look good, I recommend just stick to a diet. Either you're cutting or bulking, stick to one. If you're skinny, bulk. If you're fat, cut. So pick one of them, stick to it. Stick to a routine. I would say push-pull legs, the Arnold split, upper lower, all of these splits, you will see progress. And 4th tip, don't expect yourself to see results in the first even month. It will take time, so be patient, and once you start seeing results, it will become addictive. So but it's a good addiction if you don't blast steroids, obviously. So yeah, and the 5th tip would be invest in some nice clothes in the gym, because they will make you feel more confident. It will make you want to train more and keep the consistency up. So those are 5 tips I would give out.
That was nice. Astonishing.
Thank you.
Anyways, so Another question I have for you would be, what were some of the challenges that you faced at a young age that you would say kind of halted your progress? Like in terms of some challenges that you went through that you believe if you didn't go through them, you would have possibly in a different situation right now in terms of the ladder of success.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is college. I think this year has gave me, because I was a year in college, I was doing cabin crew. It's a good diploma, but I could have gotten in cabin crew without that diploma. So I think I should have just took a gap year, personally, and focus more on the social media side. Also, there's, I'm not gonna say her name. She doesn't deserve her name in my mouth. You know, like there was this girl in college anyway, I don't want to get into it. She doesn't deserve to be spoken of. She did me really dirty, let's say, and it was her loss anyway. But she halted my progress a lot with her little tricks and manipulation, to say it. So yeah.
Is that it?
That would probably
Would you say that's the only scenario that essentially halted your progress and stuff? Were there any others, or is that?
I would say holidays, but holidays wouldn't really.
Yeah, holidays is more of like
I want to
a
chill
long
out.
rest day.
I've worked out all year around. If I have a week or two to be in Spain or to be back in my country or whatever, I want to enjoy it. I want to eat whatever, because as soon as I'm back to it straight away, you know. So I have that balance to. I'm training all of year, and then 2 weeks, I'm gonna go eat cheeseburgers every day and get blacked out drunk, and then when I'm back to my normal routine. So probably that I would say, but not really.
So would you say for the people out there, don't let women stop you from reaching that successful life you want?
Yeah, I would say it depends if you find the right woman.
Yes, in terms of women who like to manipulate you, women who like to not necessarily take advantage of you, but like to take advantage of things that you have and maybe things that they lack.
Yeah. I would say be careful with your choices, guys. I would say find a woman. You need to find a woman that supports you. I've said it before. You find a woman that supports you, respects you, and loves you for who you are. So if you find that, you will have no problems. Just make sure it is not in disguise. You know, like make sure it is not.
Yeah. So
it's a fake persona.
One thing I like to do is, would be, this may sound very not necessarily dumb, but may sound a bit weird. But what I typically like to do when I meet a woman is get to know her, but in depth. So I'll speak to her for 3 to 4 months, spend time together, get to know her to a certain extent, and just see just to see if something will end up brewing up, and then her true colors will come out. You know, that's my view in relationships.
Just keep your head up, guys, no matter what happens, and same for the woman out there. Be careful. Watch for who only uses you for your body, or who only uses you for going out and having just somebody there, which they just want somebody there because they're insecure about themselves. Going for both men and women. So just watch out for that.
Well, that's it for me. Thank you very much for coming along, Tiago. I appreciate that. And thank you everyone for watching. And this is Tiago, 17-year-old influencer and online coach. Thank you everyone for watching, and stay tuned for the second episode.